What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
Why are you smiling and lean at me? Did I start a little late? I felt like started. I don't know. I felt like I hesitated.
I thought it was fine.
Oh, okay. Because you're looking at me like, you started a little
late,
I motherfucker.
No, I look at you. Should we start again?
Okay. No. Why are we going to do that? Let's go. Let's get ready. What's up, everybody?
You gonna yell at them first things first again?
How is your day?
How is your week?
How is your life? I'm not yelling at anyone again.
Going.
Yes.
Anyway.
So we are at the end of August already.
Freaking insane.
The time is going by pretty quick, even though we're going through all this craziness right now.
I see everybody talking about how we need to do a reset of 2020 just doesn't even count.
See, listen, what you guys don't get is 2020 is the reset.
The thing is that for a lot of people, 2020 counts and they're having a good year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Depends on how you're living.
Yes.
How your life's going.
No, I feel that we need change. And I believe that this is the beginning of change. Yeah. Of us seeing how jacked up our government is and everything is, and how we have to take a stance and take our country back. Who's with me?
What the hell? I'm just kidding. No, babe,
for real. Our school.
All right.
What?
This is
education?
For everybody that's listening out there. This is how scatterbrained Sonja is. Right before we started this podcast, we're talking about what we're going to talk about. And what were we going to talk about?
We still are, and that's going to be most of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing right now? Like, what? You're going to get into fucking politics and the government? I thought we were going to talk about something else.
You brought it up about 2020 not existing.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
And I'm saying that 2020 is a reset. Like, it's very eye-opening to a lot of us. Entrepreneurs,
for sure.
employees. Employees are now finally realizing that their plan A, which is a job, is not, it's not as stable as they thought that it was.
Well, I was telling you earlier in the week, like, as far like the post office, even the military, like the military, they say is like one of the most stable jobs that you can have. You just re-enlist and re-enlist. Yeah. But when I was in, 15 years ago, holy shit.
You old.
When I was in 15 years ago, they had like a reduction in force where like they're cutting people. Like they're telling you, oh, you want to re-enlist? Too bad. Can't re-enlist. Or you can re-enlist, but you have to do something different, a different job completely. So like for me, they would have maybe said, well, you can't be a mechanic anymore. If you want to stay in, you got to be a cop. So you're going to have to go train to be a cop. And it's like, well, I don't want to be a cop. Yeah. I want to be a mechanic.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like I should be doing. And they're like, well, too bad, you got to go. And the post office is doing the same. Like right now, they were talking about layoffs, and I haven't followed exactly what's going on with the post office, but I know it's a disaster.
Really?
And if they're going to have to furlough people and lay people off or whatever, like that's supposed to be one of the most stable. Like you get out of the military and go to the post office and do another 20 years and then you retire and you're set.
Yeah, I've never been.
That's a lot of, you hear that a lot with military. Yeah.
I didn't hear that until I got into Legal Shield and then.
Because you get your military retirement after 20 years. And imagine like you sign up when you're 17, 18, you get done at 37, 38. And you do another 20 years, 57, 58, and now you have your military retirement plus the post office retirement. And they're both government retirements. So you're like double dipping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but all these things, nothing is secure.
No.
Nothing is for sure unless, if you work for yourself, they say that, like, nothing is secure unless you do it for yourself.
But I don't know.
But at the same time.
Now in 2020, we're seeing that.
It's tough. But the truth is, like, you can make it happen. There's opportunities.
Yeah.
There's opportunities out there. Yeah. You could become a notary, and notaries are kicking ass right now.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so there are opportunities. Just
Right.
depend. It may not be doing what you were doing before or whatever. You know, I don't know.
Everyone that
With chaos
is-
comes opportunity.
Write that one down.
That's yeah. I don't remember where I heard it, but with chaos comes opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, I was just one of my signers, you know, business was thriving right before,
Yeah.
you know, the coronavirus. And now they're trying to swim. They're sinking. They're trying to stay afloat.
We talking
You know, and then there's some other just businesses that
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
businesses
No, I thought you
before
were talking about you.
coronavirus, baby.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That were thriving before and
Yeah.
now they're going under. And then there's businesses like ours, which was we were just starting.
Or you were doing,
you know, we
like,
were a year after,
or
a
we're
year
doing
later,
okay.
and we were doing okay, but now we're doing,
great because of what's going on. Yeah, it's crazy.
you know, so you just you really never know, but you have when you're looking into an opportunity or at an opportunity, you have to look into the future and see, is this something that's going to
The thing is that this is something nobody could predict.
yeah.
Nobody saw this coming. But what it does, when I said like chaos brings opportunity, one thing that it reminded me of, there's a guy that I used to work with, and he told me about that he used to buy houses that were not foreclosed.
Short sale.
He not even a short sale. Like they were selling them at the county. I can't remember what they were called. Auctions. He was buying houses at the auction. And he was doing this in 2009, 2010, like when after the market took a shit and the housing took a shit, he was buying houses in 2009, 2010 for $20,000, $30,000. And the thing is, like I was saying, with chaos brings opportunity, he only had so much money where he was trying to get one house, that's it. But he said that there was people that had money and they would show up and they would snatch up 10 houses.
Yes. They were prepared. They were prepared.
Had the money
Right.
for when something happened, they could take advantage of the opportunities that come with it. So they were able to, I mean, $30,000, they bought 10 houses with $300,000. And then you sit on them for a little bit and sell them.
Yeah.
You know, if you sat on those houses, you're set pretty much. Like 10 houses and then you sell them now, or you sold them in the last, few months or last year, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. But you gotta prepare for those rainy days.
Right. So I don't know if you want to go through some of the
I don't
things
care, babe.
on your
Just go.
list, just because I feel that we need to put a lot of time into this topic that we're going to talk about.
Then let's get into it. Let's go.
Okay. So, most of Miguel and I, we have a daughter. We have two, one that lives with us, and she just turned 11 July 5th. And she just entered, what do you call that? Womanhood?
She's a young
what do you
lady.
Call?
Yeah.
Yes. And it's been
Different.
I'm serious. The change seems like it came overnight.
Yeah.
And it was like we were unprepared. I feel like I was I didn't think it was coming this soon, like from 10 to 11.
Well, babe, if you watch and you pay attention, like you can see things are changed. Like things have changed in the last year.
But doesn't
with her.
it seem like a snap?
Yeah.
Like it just came quick.
It did.
Like she was sleeping with us one night to all of a sudden, sleeping on her own. It went from us giving full hugs to
hugs with your butt out so that you don't get too close.
And that's not so much with me.
It's with me.
But it's with you. Like, did you see that change coming?
No.
That's what I'm talking about.
But at
That's
the same
what I'm
time,
talking about.
But you can see little by little things
I can
changing.
see
Like you
the
can see that
change.
she's
I could
growing.
see that she was getting fuller. Like I seen it especially before you because I shower with her.
Yeah.
So but just because the body changes, I wasn't thinking that a lot of, all the other things were going to change with that. And just, she's my first kid. So I've never gone through this. And yeah, we had 3 teenagers, but it was different. They came to us. They were teens already. You know, and these kids don't come with instructions or manuals and how to prepare and how to raise them and how to, so it's been emotionally challenging for me. And I'm going to share some of those things and what I'm learning. And
what's been challenging? What's been the most challenging for you?
Okay. Audrey was there's many. I can't just pick one.
Which one stands out right now?
The family time.
Okay.
The family time.
What do you mean?
Before, Audrey was all about, okay, hey, it's family time. Let's watch a movie together. Let's do things together.
If dinner was
she
over,
was attached to us.
Like if dinner was over and we go upstairs to watch TV.
Oh, she was right there in between us.
It was like, well, what are we watching?
Right.
What are we going to put on? What are we all going to see?
And if we wanted to watch something together, she would make us feel guilty. At least she would make me feel guilty.
Don't you want to hang out with your kids?
Right. Yes. And so we went from that to all of a sudden, where's Audrey? Or
dinner's over and she's in a room.
Yeah. Yes.
Talking to her friends on her tablet.
Yes. And just the alone time.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that. I'm like, wait a minute, where'd Audrey go? Because the way it first started was the movie would start, the cartoon, whatever, would start, and we're all watching it together. And I would see her, through the side of my eye, get up and walk to her room.
Yeah.
And then I thought I thought she was going to the bathroom. And then
but then she wouldn't come back.
She wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
And I would get up and be like, hey, what's up? What's going on? It's family time.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I'm good. Ooh. When she started saying, now that I'm good. Yeah. I'm like,
so you're the
wait, what do you mean you're good? And so, I'm already starting to tear. But I was not I didn't think I would take it as personal.
Yeah.
Like, even you and I talk about it. Oh, yeah, when the kids move out, we're going to party. Like, we're going to have a good time.
We're going to be a fucking disaster.
Remember? No, come on. Do you remember those conversations?
Yeah.
Like, us saying that?
We're like, it's going to be fucking on.
Right.
Yeah. Not so much. It's probably not going to be like that.
No, it's not. We're going to be crying together, holding each other.
We're going to be trying to make Joey feel guilty. Like, dude, I thought you said you were going to live with us forever.
Right.
Or you were at least going to live with us on our block.
You were never going to get married. And if you ever decided to have kids, that you were going to adopt. He's
going to be like, I found a girl in Montana. I'm moving. We're like, what the fuck?
No.
Yeah.
So just it's been a lot. Why don't you share your experience as a father? Well, and then we can talk about maybe, some things that I've adjusted, because I know I've been doing a lot of adjusting to spend more time with her, and to get closer, to get into her world, because that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like, okay, I need to get into her world. Like, I need to step up my game, not treat her like a baby, but get into that young woman mode so that I can gain that relationship with her, because I don't want us to grow apart. I want us to grow together. I want us to come together. I want her to get closer to me and feel that she can talk to me and not have to hide things from me, but still have her respect me on that level, because I don't want to be her friend. I want to be her mom first. I want to be her mom first. Then I want to be her friend.
Yeah.
So what are some things as a father that, and I've had many, that's just one, that the family time that's been affecting me, but what are some things that have affected you? And have you put any thought into how you can get into, gain a closer relationship with her now that she's becoming a young lady?
Maybe not so much that part, which I do need to do. I need to think about like just ways. And you know what? It's not something that I think about, but like in the moment, I'll think about it and I'll do something just to kind of stay close to her, because I notice like the hardest thing for me has been the affection. The affection has fucking dried up pretty much, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like when she gives me I have to go give her a hug. I have to go give her a kiss. And when I do,
yes,
it's like she'll give me her forehead. Here, kiss this. You know, like, here you go. Kiss my forehead. And I'll give her a kiss on the forehead. And I'll try to give her a hug, but her arms don't wrap around me anymore. Now it's like she's got her hands and her elbows are kind of, in jiu-jitsu, we call it framing, when you're framing somebody away.
Do you understand why? And if not, I'm going to share this with you.
I understand. It's because of her
because
body.
Yes.
It's because of her body, and she doesn't want me getting close to her chest or whatever. And like, you know, I just want to put my arms around her and squeeze her.
Right.
And I understand. And this is the thing, is that I try to think about her.
Yes.
And I try to think about what she's going through. And I know I'm her dad and I love her to death, but if for some reason it makes her uncomfortable, then I'm not going to put, like, every once in a while I'll be like, what's up? Like, come here. And like, I'll give her a 75% hug. Yeah. That's about as much as I'm getting right now.
Yeah. So let me share with you what she shared with me, and you know, maybe this will help you.
But this is the thing, is that I also understand that she's going through things that she doesn't even understand.
Exactly. Yep.
And I'm not going to force her. I'm not going to push her. Like, I'm going to keep coming back for more.
Right.
But I'll take what I can get.
But why don't you ask her? Because this is the thing. This is what she shared with me. Okay. So before, we would smack her on the butt.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we would laugh and she would laugh, and that was okay.
It was kind of like, hey, get upstairs and clean up your room. Whap. Like, give her a little smack on the butt.
Right.
Get up there.
Right.
You know? But
And
now she doesn't like people smacking her butt.
no. And two, like, you know, she's growing now. So when you hug her around her waist.
I try to hug her around her head, like just her head. Like, nothing's changing much on her head, so I just try to like hug her head and with her arms around me.
Because sometimes there's accidents, like Joey will hug me, you know, and you get the side boob, you get, you know, whatever, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, mom."
That shit happens with strangers,
right?
When you hug a stranger, you accidentally
it's just
do
to
that.
be more present.
Yeah. No, and I do. I understand it.
Okay.
I understand.
It's ask her, how would you like me to hug you? Ask her.
I haven't done that.
Where would you like me to hug you?
Around your feet? Like what?
No.
You know what I know, I get it.
It just has to be above the waist and below the chest.
But this is the thing. Like, I get it. You know, like, I try as much as you think that I'm not aware.
I didn't say that.
No, I know, but everybody, you know, just because I don't, you know, sit down and freaking.
Why
like,
do you even
no,
have
but
to go
I'm just saying,
there?
like, I think about things a lot, and I think about her and what she's going through.
But you've never asked me anything.
Why do I need to ask you?
Because she talks to me.
Okay.
And I do talk to you
about it. Well, maybe that's not a
it.
thought that I have, but I do have a lot of other thoughts about the kids growing up and about her growing up. And I try not to be like, I don't know if irrational or like, I try to act for what's happening, like the situation that we're in. Like, we have a daughter that's going through puberty, that she may not understand what's happening with her body. She may not understand the emotions that she's going through. And I don't want to be like, hey, what, you're too good to give your dad a hug now? You know, like, that's only going to make her feel bad. And, you know, like, I'll take what I can get. And I'm just trying to understand or trying to be empathetic with what she's going through.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, she's 11. She has her first, like, actual crush that she has. And
it's a big crush.
And there's a lot
of
lot of dads that would be like, "Hey, you're too young. You can't have a crush, and you're not." It's like, hey, it happens. Yeah. It happens, and I'm not gonna go crazy like you can't and forbid this and that. All right, maybe you're too young to have a boyfriend, but if you like somebody, that's a human emotion.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna try to stifle that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is good. I've seen a lot of change in you because So Adriana, we have another daughter, Michaela, who we don't see much. She's in Washington, and it's been a long distance relationship. And at the beginning, Miguel's ex, just kept her away. I'm going to just be straight up. Like, she's kept her away from us. And that relationship has, how do I say that? It just hasn't grown because of it. And it's so sad. But I remember one year her coming to us, and she was about Audrey's age. And she was the same way with you, and you felt rejected.
You know what? With her, like, there's certain things that we just didn't understand.
Yeah.
Because it was almost kind of like when our nieces and nephews came to stay with us. Like, my oldest daughter would go through, some changes, and some things would be happening, and then she would come back, and, little by little, she's changed. Like, with our kids here, we get to see the change day by day.
Yes, we're involved. Yes.
But when you're going through these stages of your life, a lot can change in a few months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you come back, and it's completely different. And there was things that we thought, and we were wrong. Like, we thought that they were because of one thing when they were actually because of something completely unrelated. It was just,
right.
You're growing, and you're going through things. And we're like, maybe it's because of this. And it's like, well, no, it was because of this.
Right.
We just didn't understand.
There was a whole lot of factors involved in that. So not only was a long distance relation, parenting.
Oh, that's even tougher.
It was very interfered with. So there was just so much going on. But yeah, with our own children, now that our own daughter, we're starting to see it, or her being here, and so we're starting to understand it. But
yeah, we see it day by day.
With her, you don't feel like you feel rejected, but you understand what she's going through.
Yeah. You see, yeah. Yeah, and it's different because maybe with my oldest daughter, she could have been feeling the same exact way, and I might have thought that it was because of what's happening back home.
Yeah. And it could have been.
And it could have been, but it could have also been that she's just growing.
Yeah. It's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I mean, there's so much with kids to understand, and there's so many mistakes that we have made, because we were brought up that way with like the affirmative parenting. Yeah. Like, you do this because I say so. Yeah. And treating them as if we were inferior. Is that the right word?
Kind of, yeah.
But
there needs to be a hierarchy in the house.
Balance. There has to be a balance. And there's this book that I'm reading, and I want to mention to it, and I want to talk to you guys about it, but I want to get in depth with everything that's involved in that book before I even mention it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to talk about it.
No, people
with
love
more
when you
knowledge and more education. Okay, it's called... Shut up, babe. It's called Raising Lions. Okay. And
if you guys would like to pick up a copy, go to oppositeattract.podcast.com and click on the Amazon link.
And it talks about raising compassionate kids.
Yeah.
And when I'm listening to this, I'm able to figure out, okay, this we did wrong. This we did, this we did right. And the more I listen to it, I am so glad. Like, you and I are the opposite. You're more
cold.
And I'm more loving. Like, I'm the rainbows. You're great. I'm the positive. I give them positive affirmation. And Miguel's like, hey, if they suck, you need to tell them they suck.
You go from this to hold up a second. Hold up. Listen to what your mom said. Now let me say so. Yeah. It's the balance.
I just started listening to this audio, and it was referred to me through one of my signers who we were talking about our kids, and I was talking to her about Joey, and she mentioned the book. And I'm so glad that I got the book because it is eye-opening. I was crying listening to this audio because there's so many kids out there that are misunderstood. So many kids out there that are misdiagnosed.
I've always told you that.
You have.
Like, I've always told you, like, I feel there is a lot of that. Like, oh, here, give him some medicine. Give this kid, oh, he can't stay still. I was like, dude, we were all like that. Everybody. And nobody fucking had ADHD. Nobody had ADD. Nobody had any of this shit. But the thing is that you got these kids that if they want to, they could fucking sit on a video game and focus for 14 fucking hours all the way through the night into the morning.
And who would you say, whose fault is that?
Oh, that's the parents 100%.
And that's the thing. He says a lot of these kids are the way they are because of the way they're being parented. And so I, for one, and you as well, like we are always looking to grow, to learn, and to take responsibility. And we do apologize to our children when we're wrong. And that is huge. Just stepping up and saying, you know what, I was wrong and I'm sorry.
I don't think it's any different whether it's in business, at work, at whatever. Like when it comes to our household, we are the leaders of this household. And whatever happens inside this house, it's because of the leaders. Like if this house is a fucking disaster and the kids are a shit show and it's all a mess, well, who's leading this fucking place? Right. Oh, the parents. Well, it turns out the parents are a shit show too. You know, like what happens here is because of us. Mm-hmm. And I mean, not. And
you know how I talk to you?
I don't know. Ownership.
Always give me shit. Like
leadership.
You always give me shit because I tell you, a structured home is a well home. It's a well home.
No, that's fine.
Having structure. Yeah. Making sure that they're having breakfast at this time. And now they're older, so it's better now. But to have structure is 100% best for the children.
Yes. But there's a lot of aspects to the leadership and the parenting. It's not just having a structured schedule.
Yeah, no, and it's us also leading and sticking to the consequences that we give. And that's one thing that you and I have had a problem with.
Yeah, we struggle with that.
Because we hate to see our kids hurt and in pain and sad and crying, but that is the best parenting. Like for instance, Audrey is, wanting to go spend the night today at her friend's. And I said, yes.
May not happen.
If your room is clean and so is that playroom. Yeah. If both of those rooms are clean, then yes, you can go. And I swear, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. We had another situation with Adriana. Okay. Our children, we've done our best with keeping them off technology. Okay. Joey is not a kid who sits in front of that TV and plays
video games. He's not a gamer.
Nope. And
neither one of the kids.
I mean, we let him a little with your supervision. You're there with him. Yeah. And the most he's ever been on that game is what?
20 minutes.
And that's it. They don't have phones and they're not going to have phones. Like they do have a tablet, but this tablet is very
limited.
Yes. And so, Audrey gets to talk to her crush and my mother-in-law and everybody else through Messenger. And we have to be the ones to who they speak with. So this little boy that she has a crush on, they have been talking every night. Yeah. And, I told Miguel, maybe we can move it up to, 8:30.
So, yeah, her curfew was 8:00. But as kids do, I told her, like, I don't think that they figured it out or they did it on purpose, or maybe she figured it out the last couple of times. But the curfew is 8:00. And what happens is that if you make a video call at 7:59 and it starts, you can carry that video call past 8:00. It doesn't shut off at 8. Mm-hmm. Once you hang up, the app shuts down. But if you already started it, you can continue that call till 4:00 in the morning.
Kids are smart and they're manipulative.
So one day it was almost 9:00 and we're like, how are you still on
we walked in and she was still on her tablet.
She was talking to her friend and we're like, how are you still talking to your friend?
And she told us the truth.
And she told us. And then we talked to her. We're like, hey, is that the point of you having an 8:00 curfew? And she's like, no. So then what we did is we made we kind of negotiated, or not even negotiated, but we're like, look, you are 11. You're getting a little bit older. You can stay on there till 8:30. We'll give you 8:30, but 8:30 means 8:30. Like when it's 8:30, you get off. And she messed up.
Yep. And
she messed up. And the first time I talked to her and nothing happened. I told her, don't do it again. Yeah, I know you forgot, but don't do it again. And then she did it again. And then the second time, it was only over by a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes or whatever. But when it comes to time, like I don't play. Like I like being punctual. Like if I, especially with the kids, if I tell you, and you know what, I was raised like that, and the military, and it's just,
that's very important.
Courteous.
That's a very important trait. Yes.
You know, like when you're meeting with somebody, it's respect for the other person that you say you're going to be there at a certain time. It's valuing their time. Right. I don't like wasting, you know, it's weird because it's kind of like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of how, like, when people say, if you get prescribed the medicine, a lot of times people won't finish that medicine. But if you prescribe their dogs that medicine, their dogs will get the full, you know, treatment or whatever.
Yes.
Like, we treat other people better. And it's true, because like my shit, I'll procrastinate on. I may not value my own time as much as I will value somebody else's time.
Yes. He talks about that in Raising Lions. And that is something that we have to teach the kids, is valuing, having compassion for other people.
Like if I say I'm going to get up for a run at 4 a.m, that's one thing. But if I tell somebody else, like, hey, meet me at 4, you know what? I will fucking be there at 4 no matter what, because I have somebody else waiting for me.
And that's exactly with Kelly. Like, her and I have been working out together, and that's it.
Yes.
So we are very similar in that manner, and that's something that we need to teach the kids. So when I walked in, I just got home from a business appointment, and they were going at it, and Audrey was, to me, talking back. Okay, give me another chance. I forgot. And so the more she kept arguing with Miguel,
what happened is her new time was 8:30, like we said.
Right.
And because she had went over, her punishment was, now tonight you're not getting off at 8:30. You're going to get off at 8 because you messed up twice already. And that's it. That's the punishment. You just get off at 8. Right. But then she had an attitude and started talking, whoa, but it's only, and started going back and forth and back. And then I was like, 7:30. And then she stopped and kind of realized that now she lost another 30 minutes. Yes. And that 7:30 is going to quickly turn into 7.
And at that point, she stopped, shut up,
and went upstairs.
And she went upstairs. And she was upset. Okay, she was really upset. So she went upstairs, and I started to feel bad because I am very forgetful. And the reason for it is because if I am multitasking, and if I'm doing multiple things at the same time, I will do shit and not remember doing it. And so I feel that she has that, but I think she uses it to her benefit, and she knows my heart.
These kids use everything to their fun. That's crazy, because you were just sharing that thing with the book and like Joey, the little things that he does. Yes. Kids will use whatever they can to their benefit.
Yes. And so she knows my heart, and she knows that I'm sensitive and I'm loving and I'm way forgiving. And so
crazy.
I go upstairs, and I'm sitting on her bed with her, and she's all covered up, and she's crying. Her face is red. And she's like, I don't understand. She's like, Mom, I forgot. Like, I forgot.
Like, she genuinely forgot.
Yes. And I start to feel bad because now we're punishing her for her forgetting. And I can understand her because that is totally me. But then I said, listen, Audrey, I said, I understand you forgot. But you know what? If we keep letting this go, you're never going to learn. I think if you keep getting grounded because you forget, then you may never forget again.
You'll start to, if you keep getting grounded, you'll start to remember.
So we're actually helping you. And I said that.
Yeah.
And I said, I love you. And I bent over. I gave her a kiss on her forehead because she was not ready to hug me or kiss me or anything. And I hugged her and I said, good night. And I walked out of the room, and that was so hard for me.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I did that. And I stood our ground, because listening to Raising Lions, the following day when I started listening to the audiobook, he's like, that's the best thing you could do for your kids. And as a married couple, your kids will use you against you. And that's the one
against
thing
each other, yeah.
against each other. And that's the one thing that I can say that we don't do. Like, we will stand together no matter what, because we have such a strong marriage.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's
it's
what
like,
helps.
Hey, if your mom said this, I don't want to hear shit.
Yeah.
She already told you. You don't need to be coming and ask me anything.
Yeah.
You know, and if they do, and if I think something, then I'm not going to say anything around them. I'll come and talk to you about it.
Yes.
And then maybe I'll go back to Joey or back to Audrey and we can figure something out. But I'm not going to say anything to them.
Yeah.
Like, I'll come talk to you about it. But let me finish the story, because I think the way that we handled it, no, I'm not going to fucking pat ourselves on the back here. But what I'm saying is that this is what happened yesterday. So yesterday was the day that she was punished, and she was supposed to get off at 7:30. Now it's about 7:20, and I know she's upstairs on her tablet, and I know that she has completely, because this is her personality, she has completely spaced, or maybe not, that she's supposed to get off, that she's punished for an hour, and that she has to get off at 7:30. Now, what I could do is just wait until it's past 7:30 and go check on her and see if she actually got off the tablet. And if she didn't, punish her again. But she's already being punished. And I want to give her, like, it's kind of like I'm still punishing her, but I'm also helping her out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, she's still going to be.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but let me hear it, because I don't know this.
I think it is. But next time, like.
But what happened? So what happened?
It goes in steps. So at 7:20, I go upstairs and I tell her, hey, Audrey, don't forget, today you're getting off at 7:30.
Oh.
And it started again. Like, she started getting upset again. And I sat down.
So she thought we were going to forget.
No, I think she might have even forgot. She's very scatterbrained. Like, she doesn't.
And that's why.
And that's why I wanted to give her a chance. Like, look, you're still getting punished, but I don't want you to just go past 7:30 and then I ground you again. And ground. So I went in there and I told her. And she got upset. So I told her, I was like, look, you're not getting grounded because of the first time. This isn't the first time. You started out at 8:00 and you were going way past 8. And then we figured it out and you still went past. So then we decided, instead of grounding you, instead of doing any of that stuff, that we'll compromise and we'll give you 8:30. But the rule that came with you being able to stay on now till 8:30 was that you have to get off by 8:30. You cannot go past it. And you did. And what happened? And I asked her, I was like, what happened? She's like, nothing. I was like, I talked to you about it, right? And I told you not to do it again. And then what happened? I did it again. So then you lost 30 minutes. So now the next day became from 8:30 to 8:00. But then you got an attitude. Mm-hmm. And you lost another 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, but Dad, and she started going. I was like, Audrey, don't you realize that the reason that you lost, it should have only been 30 minutes, but it became an hour because you started talking back and you got an attitude. You're getting an attitude again. This is why you lost even more time. Mm-hmm. And then she kind of realized she got quiet.
Yeah.
But I think, like, in a way, like, we're still punishing her, but I don't want her to fail. I want her to remember. Now, the thing is that I helped her this time.
Yeah. If
she goes over again, then she's going to lose time, and I may not remind her the next time, and she may lose more time. And,
Yeah. So what we're teaching the kids is there's consequences. There's consequences for everything. And as long as you continue to stand your ground, no matter how much it hurts you, you are going to raise strong children. That night when she was upset because Miguel took more time from her and she was upset and she went to bed upset. This is what happened. I stood our ground as well. In the middle of the night, that little girl came laying next to mommy and was all hugged up with me and holding me. And I can tell that was her saying she was sorry.
Yeah.
But it was like 4:00 in the morning when she came in. But she was remorseful and she was okay.
this is the thing. I think as parents, like whenever something is going down, when you're making a decision, when you're doing something, if you think about like what I'm doing, is it helping or is it going to hurt? Now, okay, she's already punished. Now, if I just let 7:30 fly by and then I ground her again, that might actually hurt. Because now she's going to be resentful and she's going to be pissed off towards me. I have an opportunity to go to her and talk to her.
Yes.
At 7:30 and be like, look, you're still not grounded, but you still have to pay the consequences for what happened yesterday. I'm reminding you because I want to help you. Right? Like that's more helping than hurting.
Right.
And the other way that you can hurt is by, you know what, baby? Don't worry about it. Just make sure you get off at 8:30.
Right.
That hurts.
Yes.
That's hurting.
Yes.
So standing your ground, maybe helping a little bit, like that helps.
Yes.
You know, but I think as long as you keep that in mind, like whether you're helping or hurting the kid, you know, you can kind of stay somewhat straight on what you're doing.
Yeah. Another thing that I realized is we don't have all the time in the world with our kids.
By the time we figure it out, they're going to be past. I was kind of thinking about that. Like you start figuring shit out and they're already past that phase.
Yes. And it's not going to happen again. Like, you know, I've spent that quality time with her, but I remember one point, you know, there were times where we would shower together and she wanted me to always wash her hair. And I'm like, I remember Adriana telling her when she was 8 years old, Adriana, you're 8 years old. You should be washing your own hair by now.
Yeah.
And boy, let me tell you, I don't tell her that. Like we take showers together and I will
take advantage of that. Yeah.
Yes, take advantage of washing her hair and cuddling with her and just being there for her, because one day, now I'm going to make myself cry, she's not going to be here and that room's going to be super clean and everything is just going to, you know, it's going to be us and there's not going to be anybody to, you know, discipline or anyone,
We're going to wish the room was a mess.
Yeah. So what you want to do, you have little ones right now, take advantage of the time that you have with them and to learn what their likes are, you know, to get to know them, because by the time they get to this, like I know her, I know the things that I need to do to get close to her, you know, and so that's what I was telling you is just sit with her, talk to her, get to know her, the 11-year-old Audrey, because she's not the same. She's not that 8-year-old. She's not that 7-year-old. So just like I said, I think I mentioned the other day, you know, why don't you take her out on a date? And I know that things are closed, but you know, just somewhere fun, whether it's getting her, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what there is to do today. Take her out for some ice cream and just sit with her and talk to her. And you know what she likes to talk about. So start there.
Yeah. This is the one thing that I always like. I've always thought this, and I try not to be unrealistic with what the kids are going through with her crush, with, you know, the changes that she's going through. I just try not to be unrealistic. Like there's parents that you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to that, you're not allowed to have these feelings, you're not, and I'm just like, well, just because you're not allowed doesn't mean you're not going to have them.
Right.
You're still going to have those feelings, whether your parents tell you you're not allowed to have a crush, you're not allowed to have a boyfriend, you're not allowed to like boys right now. It's like, it's not realistic.
Right. So
I try to understand, and I try to, I don't know, maybe like act accordingly, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, she was saying something about the boy that she has a crush on. And, you know, I just kind of joked around with her and like gave her a little bit of a hard time like you would with a
just
friend
joking.
or a kid.
Yeah,
just joking around.
Yeah.
And she, you know, she smiles like she kind of likes it. Like she knows that I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if there's something to talk, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe that'll help with the trust. Like if I do tell her something, then maybe she'll understand that, like, you know, dad does get it. And if he's saying something, maybe it's because he knows something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The other night, we had our first girl talk. So I'm making it a habit just to go sit on her bed with her.
Yeah.
And I noticed that every time I do that, like, she likes that. She likes me to go in her room and sit on her bed and talk, just be there to listen.
Yeah.
And it was funny because she was telling me about a situation with one of her friends. And it was so cute just watching her express herself and what her friend did. So what happened is her friend has a crush. And
they all got crushes right now.
Oh, my goodness. And another little girl tried to come in and talk to her friend's crush. And her friend is this sweet little girl. Like, she's so sweet. She reminds me a lot of Audrey.
She's got a little fire, though.
Well,
she's always, ever since I've seen that little girl, I'm like, she's got a little fire in her.
Yeah, kind of like Audrey. They're very, very similar. Like, Audrey is the sweetest little girl. But if you do something that's not right to her, she's going to stand up. She is going to stand up, and she's going to tell. She's strong. She's sweet, but strong.
Yeah.
And so her friend heard about this other little girl, trying to mess with her crush.
So funny.
And somehow she got that little girl's phone number, and she called that little girl, and she called that little girl out. And both of
they're 11.
Yes.
They're 11.
And both of those little girls got grounded and got their phones taken away.
They were arguing?
Yes.
On the phone?
And the moms heard it. And Audrey was like, I could not believe that she did this. And because she's so sweet, she doesn't seem like she would do that. And she started laughing, and she looked at me and she said, Mom, I think I would have did the same thing. But she started just laughing, but just sitting there watching her and listening to her. It was just great to feel that, she feels comfortable enough to talk to me about her girlfriend stuff. But I am still mom. Like, she sees me.
That's awesome.
She does not see me as, she sees me as mom first.
But I think that's a sign of doing the right things.
Yeah.
It's like, if she's comfortable enough to talk to you about these things that she may not normally, or that kids may not normally talk to their parents about.
Ever.
That means that I think we're doing, or you're doing, as far as your relationship with her is going good.
Yeah.
And what was the name of the book that you're reading?
Raising Lions.
Raising Lions.
Yes,
so there's
Raising
Can you go
Lions.
into our Audible wish list? Because there's a couple. So this is one thing that we listen to a lot of books on Audible, and this one is one that I'll listen to.
So let me just
next.
It's called The Art of Compassionate Discipline: Raising Lions by Joe Newman.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you guys would like to pick that up, you guys can go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. You can click on the support the show tab at the top, and that'll take you to our Amazon link, and you can purchase that book. You can purchase any other books or anything on Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help out the show. And you'll also see a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary agency. We do a lot of loan signings for title companies and for lenders. So if you are looking to refinance, purchase, or sell a home, you can request Trust Inc. and we can be the ones there to help you. And it doesn't matter what state you live in.
And that's Trust INK. So if you want to go to Trust Inc. directly, you can go to trustinkUSA.com. While you're on oppositesattractpodcast.com, you can also see the podcast. You can watch it there. You can listen to it. You can see all of our social media. You can send us a message. You can share with the people that you know. We're also affiliates with Libsyn, which is who hosts our podcast. And most of the biggest podcasts in the world are hosted by Libsyn. If you were thinking about starting a podcast and you'd like to give it a shot, you can use the promo code OAP and you'll get the rest of whatever month you sign up in for free. And you'll get the next month for free so you can get your podcast started. Promo code OAP.
There you go. So Joey was homeschooling. They both are. Well, Joey is now going to school because the teachers felt that they have these classrooms set up to help the kids navigate the Chromebooks and everything else that they have going on. And so the teachers two of his teachers felt that it would be good for him to go in and allow the other teachers there to help because they felt that he was leaning too much on me. And
it's crazy, man. You start listening to that book, Raising Lions, and they're talking about exactly what he's doing.
Yes. And so Joey is a very smart little boy. He has the mindset of a little engineer. Would you agree?
He is so smart that he has figured out that if he can get other people to do shit for him, he doesn't have to do it himself.
Exactly. But there are times where he is confused, where he gets very hard on himself and impatient with himself. And so, of course, I don't like to see him feeling that way. And I get impatient with him. And I've allowed him to manipulate me to, just falling into his ways. And listening to this book, it's coming to light. Like, you little shit kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yes. So I just started reading it, but I'm very excited about this book, and I will be talking about it the more I learn. And I'm telling you, if you have a child who you feel, he talks about these children who are throwing tantrums as young as preschool, okay? And giving their teachers such a hard time that the teachers are talking about having these kids removed and put into a behavioral health school or something like that. So if you have a child that has been diagnosed bipolar or ADHD or ADD, whatever, you want to take a listen to this book. You really, really do. And even if it's just, maybe they're not, like Joey's not, but he for me, he is challenging, like he is. He just doesn't give himself enough
He's very hard
credit.
on himself.
Yeah. And so, this book, it's my second day listening to it, and I'm barely on chapter 6 of the book, but there is such great information. There is hope out there for you. You want to take a listen. You want to get the book or the audio book. And I know that this is a book that I'm going to forever listen to.
Yeah.
Because you only retain 10%.
Yeah. No, you got to listen to it over and over again. Yeah. There's that one, and there's a couple other parenting books that we got to listen to.
Yeah. If there is something, challenging that's going on in your life, trust me, there's a book out there. There's an audio. There's so much information for us that there's, you have options. Yeah. You have options. And Miguel and I have always, whether it's business or marriage, our relationship or parenting, whatever it is, we're always searching for answers. Yeah. Because there's people before us, many people that have gone through it. Yeah. And found a way. So
for those of you that are out there, if if you guys can relate to what we're going through and you guys have been through it and you guys know some techniques or whatever, or if you haven't been through it yet and you have some other questions, you guys can hit us up at 480-912-5128. You can be anonymous. So if you have a question or if you have some experience with what we're talking about, you guys can, send us a message and let us know. And you can, keep it anonymous so that your business is not out in the streets.
And our children, Audrey just turned 11 in July, and Joey is going to be 9 in October.
Yeah.
So.
And Joey, it's been really cool. Like there's some times when kids do things that give you signs that you're doing things right.
Yes. Yeah.
And we get it with the both of them. And, sometimes Audrey will do something that's very thoughtful or very sweet. And it's like, why'd you do that? What were you thinking? Or it's like, well, I just, I felt like I wanted to do something.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, oh, I made you something. And it's like, oh, it's like, all right, we're doing something right. Something's got to be going right. Yeah. And so the other day we were getting ready to have dinner. And it was one of the days, it's like a jiu-jitsu day. Jiu-jitsu days are crazy.
Which are Mondays.
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
And usually it's like as soon as I get out of work, I have less than an hour. I have like 30 minutes to kind of maybe do a couple things that I need to do outside of work around the house or whatever. And then it's like, hey, get your gis on. And if you have me drop off packages, that cuts even the time even more. And
Miguel's
it's like,
my secretary.
Yeah, I'll go drop off your
My delivery boy.
But it's like, all right, get your stuff, get it together, let's go. And then we go. And then by the time we get back, it's time for dinner and we have to scramble, get dinner together, get to bed, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So one of those nights we get home from jiu-jitsu, I run upstairs, put my stuff away, and I come back downstairs and I see Joey, like we were making spaghetti for dinner. And I see Joey putting all the spaghetti on the plate. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing?
My baby.
And he's like, I'm getting dinner ready for everybody. And I look on the counter and he's got everybody's plates laid out and he's putting spaghetti on all the plates and he's putting spaghetti sauce. And he ended up getting drinks for everybody, getting napkins, getting the utensils, putting all the plates out. And he did everything. And just because he wanted to help.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I mean, it's one of those things when it's like, fuck. Oh man, this is so good. Like we're doing it. It's just a sign that we're doing something right.
Yeah,
he's
awesome. He tells me when I dropped him off at school, he's like, "Mommy, have a good day." I'm like, "Oh, baby, you too."
No, it'll be the end of the day, and he's like, "Did you have a good day?" Like he'll ask.
So sweet.
How was your day today? Like he'll ask that all the time. How was your day today?
Yeah.
But there's such a. It's funny because he has that temper and he's
like the sweetest.
Like he has a side to him, but at the same time, like he is that sweet too.
Yeah.
He's such a good kid. And I told you, like, I wanted to do something. I was like, I want to do something for him. Mm-hmm. Like, so I didn't tell you, but I ordered this shark puppet. So he's got this YouTube channel that he likes to watch. Some of the stuff may be inappropriate and we got to take a look at what he's watching. But it's, these things like for kids, they just become so popular. And one of them is a shark puppet that he watches. And so I bought him a little shark puppet, which should be here sometime today.
Yeah.
So he's going to be super excited. He has no idea that it's coming.
He loves to make people laugh. But some of the things he does, you're like, that's not funny. But it's funny, but it's not funny.
Well, this is the thing is that he's so young. He's still figuring out his sense of humor.
Yeah.
He doesn't know
He'll do something that's annoying,
he's
but
trying
he's
to figure out what's
you
funny. He's trying to figure out what's funny right now. Yeah.
But some parents won't take that. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, this is a rude little boy.
Yeah.
Like he has to know when to joke around and when not to joke around.
And I think that's part of
And I think we need to have a conversation with him about that.
But the thing is that it's kind of weird because your parents are who you're supposed to have the utmost respect for.
Right.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, with a personality like him, I don't want him trying out jokes on other adults because that's disrespectful.
Right. And other kids would be like...
I would rather him try it out on me and then me tell him like, hey, dude, that was not okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think he understands, like, he has a safe place here to try stuff.
Well, that's a conversation, though, that you have to have. You don't want... You just said,
we did. No, we did.
Yeah, but it's not just a one-time conversation.
No, we do. We have it... We've told them, like, hey, outside the house, with other adults, in the street, with whatever, like, that's not okay. People may find that disrespectful, and you have to understand where you're at. And you can't do that.
Yeah.
But here, like, I'll tell you.
You know who the guy, what's his name again? The author of that book?
I don't know. I haven't been reading it.
I don't know.
But,
I don't know. Anyways, he brings up, when we talk about Home Alone, that little boy, and how he acts, a lot of people, you mean
Joey, Kevin McAllister?
Yeah, and Joey is like, Dennis the Menace. If you've ever watched that movie, Dennis the Menace, that's
Not
Joey.
Really.
It is Joey. He has some of those.
He does.
Yeah. So Joe Newman, the author of Raising Lions, he brings up both of those characters. So I'm like, that's a little bit like my Joey.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm excited to listen to the rest of that audio so that I can bring some valuable information for our listeners.
So one cool thing today, I gave Joey one of my old watches. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty special because he is 8 and it's a nicer watch.
He's young to have that watch.
But I didn't even think it was going to fit, So I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can, because it's been sitting in that drawer for years.
Yeah.
Right? I haven't worn that watch in forever.
Yeah.
I probably haven't worn that watch in 15 years, something like that. But, or probably 20 years almost. And because it was a watch that I had in high school. And it was given to me by my grandmother.
You explained all this.
Yes, and I explained it to Joey. And it's a nice watch. Like, it's stainless steel. But I have other watches that I wear. And
can you make it bigger? Because he's going to grow out of that.
Yeah. No, I took the links out.
Okay,
and
you kept the
I
links.
have the links.
Okay.
But I told Joey, because Joey, like, you wouldn't normally give this to an 8-year-old, but he is that kid. Like, he takes care of his stuff. And I've already told him, I'm like, dude, you take this watch off and you leave it laying around. If I get my hands on this watch, you're not getting it back.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not on your dresser.
Because you told him it was from
your I told him that it
and
came from my grandmother and it's a special watch. But eventually this watch was going to be his anyway. And, and it'll also help him tell time and all that kind of thing. But he was excited. He was so excited about me and I didn't think it was going to fit, but I was like, you know what? Let me take all the links out. Let me make it as small as I can and see if it fits. And it fits him great.
Oh, yeah, I saw him all proud. He's like, Mommy, look what Daddy gave me. So he was really excited. He turned off the lights, showed me that it glows in the dark. Yeah.
So because the watch has a timer, like it's a chronograph. So it's not a digital watch. It has the dials, but it's a chronograph. So it has the stopwatch. And he didn't know how it works. So I told him, I was like, look, go outside because I have a timer on my grill. Take the timer on the grill and set it for 5 minutes. And then start them at the same time and see if your watch tells you that it's been 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. See if they're accurate. I was like, this is kind of like an experiment that scientists do to see if what this tells you it is actually what it is. So he's like, okay, cool. So he did it, and he ended up running outside and grabbing the timer, but it was out in the sun, and then he came inside and the watch was glowing. Because it glows in the dark. And
gotcha.
he was like, oh, this watch glows in the dark. He didn't know. I forgot to tell him. He was so excited. But
that's cute.
Yeah, so
I had a conversation with my mom. My mom's birthday's coming up August 26th.
Happy birthday.
And I want to take her to get her hair done, get it cut, get it colored, all that good stuff.
You and we were talking the freaking sanctuary at Camelback. You got a gift card.
Well, this is the thing. I haven't seen my mom because of the whole, coronavirus.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And she heard the previous podcast, and she said that it made her tear up because, she misses us. But, one thing she told me, she's like, I understand how you feel. She says, but she's like, but what if I were to get the coronavirus and you never be able to see me again? I'm like, holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
Like, is it worth it? Oh. Is it worth it? Do I stay away to keep her safe? And then something, she gets it going to the groceries or something else, and then I can't see her, and then I don't ever get to see her again? And that made me think. I'm like, what the hell? Like, for real? Like, I can go see her and wear a mask?
I guess.
But can't I still want to hug her and kiss her?
Well, since we're getting into this.
But no, serious, think about that.
No, I know. I get it.
Because I know we haven't seen your mom. Normally we see her in the summer.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's tough. I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do is. But there is something that I saw in the news that, Wuhan? Wuhan?
Oh, yes, where
the coronavirus started.
Yes.
Like a week ago, they had a fucking party, like a concert in Wuhan. Like thousands of people. You can fucking look this shit up online. Like, look up Wuhan beach party. Or, it was like a pool party concert in Wuhan with thousands of people. It's crazy to even see that at the place where this shit happened. Like, it kicked off from there. But, I mean, the thing is that I don't know what their situation is over there, and nobody really knows because China's kind of very secretive about their stuff. So, I don't know. But there was a video that came out of, like, this giant party concert thing in Wuhan. So, who the hell knows, man? It is insane.
Mm-mm-mm.
But there's a podcast that I listened to this last week, and I just want to mention it. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it was such a cool podcast, and you might want to check it out. I already listened to the whole thing, but it was with David Blaine, the magician, and it's so cool, like listening. I don't know. It's kind of cool listening to anybody that becomes a master at something. Like just listening to their passion.
Their story.
Their
love
drive.
listening. Yes.
It's just crazy. It's like his story is just insane.
Does he talk about what drives him though?
He said that one of the reasons that he loves magic and, the illusions and all that stuff, the reason that he loves it, he said because no matter who the person is, he can always bring them back to their childhood, like their innocence, their curiosity. He said that he could go, like he's been to places where he's like at a juvenile detention facility or he's been to a prison and he's doing magic for people. And you could see this kid that's had a really hard life. And he'll come handcuffed or whatever, and he's got his head down and he doesn't look happy, and he'll start talking to him and start doing tricks and start doing stuff, and they lighten up. Like he sees just like a light shine inside him. It's freaking insane. Like he was talking about like the way that he learned. He grew up in New York City, and he would imagine the restaurant that my brother worked at. You remember the restaurant that we went to? Mm-hmm. Imagine going to restaurants like that and talking to the manager, like a really upscale restaurant, and telling the manager, "Can I do magic for your guests?" Now imagine that you're having a family dinner at a nice restaurant and you have a magician that walks up to your table. You're probably not going to want that. So he has to figure out how to make you want that. He figured out that if you stand too close to the table, you're too pushy and they want you gone. If you stand too far away from the table, it's easy to dismiss you and tell you to get out of here. There's a certain spot that you have to stand from the table where you're not too pushy and you're not easily dismissed. And he learned what that was, and he figured out what to say to allow them to keep him around and let him do a couple things. Like he learned so much about people and about people's nature, and just it's insane just to learn, like to hear his story and how he learned so much and the passion that he has for it. And he's doing this thing. It's supposed to be August 31st. If you guys are interested, check it out. It's going to be on YouTube. It's called David Blaine Ascension. Now, I think this is something that, well, he said that this is his biggest trick or stunt or whatever you want to call it of his career, of his life. And it's really cool because he said that the thought came from something that every kid thinks about. When you're holding a balloon as a little kid and you're like, I wonder if I had enough of these balloons, if I could fly. And that's what his trick is going to be. Yeah. He's going to get enough helium balloons to have him lift off in the air. Now, inside this pack of balloons that he has is going to be a parachute, and he's going to fly as far as he can, and he's going to put this parachute on, and he's going to skydive from wherever he can skydive from.
Wow.
But it's super dangerous. He has like the best people in meteorologists to check for weather, and he had to go through certifications for all this stuff. It's so crazy, but check it out. David Blaine Ascension on YouTube. It's supposed to be August 31st. There's a trailer out there on YouTube, and it looks super cool. And one thing that he said, he's like, you have all these serious people, like scientists, all these people that are, he's like, but you can't help but look at a bunch of balloons and know what we're doing and smile. Yeah. He said, he's like, because he's done crazy stunts, like where he's been buried alive. He's been inside a block of ice for like 70 something hours or more or whatever. He's like, but I've never done a stunt that when people think about the stunt, they smile.
Yeah.
He's like, because this brings everybody back to their childhood. It just makes you happy.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, it looks really cool, and it's cool to hear his story. So he was on Joe Rogan. So if you want to listen to that podcast, it's it was a fun one.
Nice.
It's not one that you like learn all these business or whatever, but it's just a cool entertaining podcast.
Yeah. No, I like listening to people's stories. Like when we had guests on before the coronavirus, I would always
Back when we used to have guests on.
Oh my gosh. We were just talking about anyway, see, you just changed the subject.
Yeah.
But yeah, I truly enjoy listening to people's stories. The other day, I was signing up a brother and a sister, and they were refinancing. They bought a home together, and they have this networking, what is it? Some company. And he's like, oh yeah, we have a very interesting story. They've been in business for 11 years and they've been rocking it. And he's like, yeah, we have a very interesting story and I wanted to hear it and get into it. But I had another signing to go to. But those are things that I just love to hear.
You got their number, right? Hit them up.
I do. I know.
So anyway, we've come to the end of the podcast. Before we get out of here, I want to give a shout out to Jay Hauslander on YouTube, who started following us, and also Christina Jensen started following us on Instagram. My mom, cool. My stepmom, mom, you know, she was with me from the beginning. So, mom, I have many. Wait, moms.
Before we leave, I'm getting our bed, making our bed, and I look at our pillows, and I'm like, I think it's time to buy new pillows. But then I pulled the pillowcases off to wash them, and I'm like, I can wash these.
Yeah.
Like, I can wash these.
Wash the pillows, you're thinking.
Yeah, wash the pillows. And Miguel's like, I don't know how it came up, but I said, oh, by the way, I'm washing the pillows. And you're like, you mean pillowcases? I said, no, the pillows. And you're like, wait a minute. We can wash pillows?
The pillows in the washing machine?
Pillows?
Yeah.
He's like, we don't need to buy the pillows. I said, I don't know. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to see what happens.
So we have a couple segments that we're thinking about. And one of them is how we save money.
How to save money.
So now that we know that we can wash pillows, because that's the thing is that I was like, when we go to Costco, I was like, maybe we can just grab another set of pillows. Right. And, I never thought about washing pillowcases. Yeah. But I didn't think about washing a pillow. But then when you wash them, they came out like brand new again.
Dude, they were fluffy or more. What do you
They were more fluffy. Yeah. So I'm like, well, and now we're not buying pillows anymore.
Pillows are like $20.
We'll just wash them till the stuffing fall. Like when we get a freaking washer full of feathers, then we'll get new pillows. But yeah, that's another way we're going to save money. So how we save money. And then another thing is like the things that the kids will never know.
Yeah.
They'll never know what certain things are for because they never lived that life. Like lunch tickets. They don't know what the fuck a lunch ticket is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll never get that. I used to get lunch tickets and we'll get that sorry ass fucking pizza on a French bread thing. You know what I mean? Like you get that free lunch. They'll never get that.
Yeah.
But anyway. So yeah, Jay Hauslander, thank you for following. Christina, my mom, thank you for following. We love you guys. Love everybody that's listening. Thank you for following us. And
until next time.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.